Good evening. Hi. I hope the smoke clears off pretty soon.
Hmm.
Um, Wearing a mask outside, it's a switch from the way it used to be. You went indoors and put the mask on, and now you go outside and put the mask on. I guess we're supposed to get a break tomorrow. I hope so. So welcome. Good to see everybody. And just a little introduction for tonight. When we have what the ancients used to call sort of blockages or obstruction in the flow of our life force energy, a lot of times they're thought of as physical things, tension in the body or illness or injury of some kind, perhaps. But they don't ignore also the mind. And by mind, I mean mind, heart, body, the whole thing. And so over the millennia, really, the way for people on this path to deal with issues of emotional trauma, of some kind, was to do Qigong. And to move the life force energy through, and then the idea is that it would just move through and break up the obstructions by being powered by the breath, and that by doing these practices, then we would become more free of our, say mental or emotional blockages. So this is kind of in contrast to something like, say, modern psychological talk therapy, where we're asked to go back into our history and to sort of relive or re-examine traumas that took place when we were young, particularly, or whenever in the past in our lives, and to see them and talk about them and bring them out and so on. So it's very much focused on form. That is, like, what happened, what was the event, what was the result, how can we deal with that? And the reason I bring this up is because it's not to say that that's not valid. I think it is valid. And I also think people can get stuck in it, where we can get so self-involved with our past that we can't get any perspective on it or actually release it. We get sort of caught in it. That's something that does happen. So I think the combination of these practices, form, that is, what's the contents, emotional contents of our history, and formlessness as moving energy, what they would say moving energy through the system. Some combination of that can be very useful. And in Buddhism and the Dharma, the meditation technique for the form part of it is insight practice, or Vipassana meditation, where rather than, say, Zen meditation, where we're meditating on formlessness, perhaps, we're actually going to, at the end of this session, we'll practice working with some of the forms. Okay, so we'll do the Qigong, and we'll move, get what they call the energy moving, and to release obstructions in the body, in the heart, in the mind. And then once we've created this sort of space of working with all this energy and boundlessness, then we can go in the sitting meditation. And in that space, we can access the wisdom mind, which can penetrate issues or topics that we want to focus on in the meditation. Okay, and I know some of you are pretty familiar with Vipassana type meditation. And classically, you would focus, you would investigate. So it's kind of a process of investigation. You would investigate, say, Dharma concepts, such as impermanence or interbeing, or nirvana or love or compassion, or you would investigate those. But we can also investigate really anything that's in the mind, in this conscious or unconscious. Okay, so that's what we're going to do tonight. So who knows what's going to happen, right? But here we are. So let's get started. Oops, let me adjust this view here for the YouTube people. There we go. A lot of people start with this, and if you take Tai Chi, this little simple little movement incorporates some of the fundamentals of Tai Chi. So there's sinking the weight, shifting the weight, turning the hips, so sort of corkscrewing down and up, and letting the upper body be relaxed. Okay, good. And let's do a few, I haven't done too much of this, but sort of these releasing. So there's something they call, tapping. So you just make loose fists. And this is a practice Gabrielle Byers taught at the Taiji Center many years ago. What we're doing is we're tapping the inguinal crease here, right where the leg meets the torso. And the reason is because that's where there's a lot of lymph nodes. So you tap there, and then sort of on the hips. This is very ancient, this is very traditional. And so this is the connection between the legs and the torso. And this is very good for flowing, keeping the immune system flowing, the lymph system. Okay, very good. There are a lot of other variations on that. Yeah, let's just go down the legs. So this one, we're gonna tap, starting the inner legs, tapping up on the thighs and down. And then coming back up. Okay, and then on the outsides, going down the legs. And then around. And then the tops of the hips. And then what we do at the end, tapping the kidneys. Okay, so this stimulates, and this is said to loosen stuck chi. I think that probably the very most effective movement for this is Trembling Mountain. I just read somewhere that we shed some ridiculous number of skin cells every day, like hundreds of thousands of them. So they're kind of flaking off, right? And, you know, hair comes out and eyelashes and so on. And if you like, you can visualize and feel as if unwanted stuff is falling from the body. And there can be sound with it if you want. So in addition to just releasing anything that's said to be stale or stuck, this is giving the internal organs a massage. Now, and we focus here with the breath, body, breath, and mind. We focus on the out breath. Because the out breath is releasing. So the breath is a little bouncy, but that's okay. So with the out breath, you really feel the release. You're releasing, you're letting go. Unneeded stuff is just coming off. So, and this creates heat, which, you know, as we know, is one of the sensations of Qi. And we can scan the body down, if you like, from the top of the head, and then just, you know, let go as you go down, let go of the head, let go of the neck. And you can sort of lift the shoulders up, let go of that. And just work, you know, sort of work your attention down the body and just relaxing. And you probably will naturally take a deep breath. And when you do that, you just focus on the out breath. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, good. Now you can feel the tingling in the hands, on the skin, inside the body. That's another quality of the Qi. Okay, so let's start with sort of this tree and spring. But so we're going to focus downward. So, and breathing in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay. All right, now we're going to reverse. Breathe in and down, out, in, and out. Okay, and stillness. So this is a form becoming boundlessness. So the ancients would say earth becoming heaven. So lifting, in breath. And this is birth, energy of birth. And then this out breath is the energy of death, form becoming boundlessness. Okay. So in breath, out, in, out. Okay, and then hold. Okay, the sky cone, extend up. And then when you're ready, next in breath, Breathe in, we're breathing in the energy of the universe. So this is boundlessness taking form. That's birth. Okay, and now form in breath. Releasing into boundlessness. So that's death. And then repeat. Sit down, stand up. So this is moving the chi between heaven and earth, or form and boundlessness, through the body. Okay? So the hands are doing what they're doing. The mind is moving through the body. So at the top, the mind moves way, way out, way up, expands, boundlessness, and then it comes down into, and sort of inhabits the body, into form, one with the earth. Okay, there's a lot going on here. So the hands are moving and the mind is moving up the body with the hands. And then out of the body, way, 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 way up, way out, boundless. And then bringing that back down in, boundlessness, into form. And use the eyes. The eyes are looking down inside the body. Okay. So what we're doing is we're balancing form and boundlessness. Boundlessness and form. So, we have the stance, we have the movement, and now use the eyes, point to the body, bring the attention. This is where the rubber meets the road. Breathe the attention up the body, up right up through the middle of the body. Send it out. Okay, gather that down. Okay, the eyes are going to move it down now. Moving it down through the physical body, right through it. Okay, so a little bit on your own. Hands, breath, eyes, and mind. Most important is mind. So bringing the attention down, sweeping through the whole body. And you can feel that, and then bringing the mind up. So we're imagining it and feeling it, and out into boundlessness. Okay, let's just do a couple more. Very good. Now continue the practice without moving. Just use the breath and the eyes and the feeling and the mind. Continue the practice. Turn the eyes so they're looking inward. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. All right. So then placing the hands in front of the body. So that's the vertical. Okay, that's form and boundlessness, earth and heaven, going up right through the body vertically. Okay, now let's radiate. So there's a vertical and there's the radiant, so all around. So moving with the breath. So we're breathing in through the pores of the skin and then out through the pores of the skin. Okay, so that's the position and the movement. And now the mind part, expand from the center of the body out in all directions, particularly in back. So that the whole body is expanding beyond the limits of the skin and then relaxing back into itself. It's the same thing, but it's all around, not just up and down. Yeah, let's do a couple more. And now continue the practice without moving. Okay, now at the extent of the expansion, okay, there's joy. We've gone beyond the bounds of the body and the mind. So at the outer extent, you can smile just a little. And when you relax in, that comes into the physical body. So expand out, smile, relax, expand out even more. All directions. Okay, this great expansion, this is a sense of joy, spaciousness, release, energy. And then at the other side, other end, is this sense of warmth and presence of the body. But this energy, this chi, entering and leaving the body like the breath, it's actually made up of joy. Because it's so huge and ancient and everywhere, the only way that we can process it is by feeling this sense of bliss. And then naturally there'll be a small smile. Okay, just take a few more breaths. Okay. Okay, so evoking joy is a practice, I mean, joy may be something we can, stumble across here or there, and we can evoke it because the nature of the chi, the life force energy, is so powerful that it overwhelms the boundaries. And the only response we have to that is bliss. And what do they say? Fake it till you make it. It's okay. But this is the effect that freeing the mind and the bounds of the body, this is the effect that it has on an emotional level, is just this joy, the joy of being alive. Okay? Okay. Okay, now we've done a lot of this breathing and moving, this expansion. Just gently, just feel yourself just come right back into this standing physical body. So the quality, the emotional quality of the presence, the feeling presence of the physical body is more like contentment, stability, equanimity. Okay, it's like the bass notes. So the expandedness, that's like the high notes, and this is like the drum or the bass notes. This is so we want to balance that bliss, that joy, that expansiveness with this groundedness. Okay, so can you feel the tingling? Okay, so those are that's the energy, that's the kind of the high notes. And then can you feel the solidity of the body and the liquidity of the body, the heaviness of the body? So that's kind of more like the low notes, so to speak. Okay, very good. Very good. Let's go ahead and just do some movement here. So cloud hands. Okay, now this is a little more toward the boundless end of the spectrum, isn't it? It's clouds, so it's not heavy, it's light and diffuse. But at the same time, be aware of the lower body, the connection to the earth, and this movement is driven by the leg, by the thighs, the legs, the hips. So we're doing both. Okay. Okay. Very good. All right. All right, and let's do diagonal flying. So this one, the lower hand, we're going to wind up in the direction of the upper hand, wind up, send out the lower hand, then come back. So this is Tai Chi. This is a strike and a block. And what it's doing is it's channeling the energy of the earth up through the hips and up and expressing it with the hands. So again, this is kind of boundlessness. It's diagonal flying after all. So that's the expression of the move, flying. But the move is rooted in the legs and the feet. That's why we don't move around with our feet. It stays rooted. Okay. All right, good. One more. Okay. And let's do turning the body to look at the moon. So again, so the teacher lead says, when you turn, just lift the shoulder. Just lift the shoulder, let the arm come with it. We're not really moving the arms, but we're kind of lifting and circling the shoulder, okay? And then as we get bigger, we add the turn of the hips. And now then we're going to express with the arms. So again, this is turning the body to look at the moon. So this is boundlessness, the moon, but it's driven by the body. So both sort of the high notes and the low notes are balancing, working together. And there's a transition of kind of one to the other. It's high up, but then it drops. Very, very joyful move. Okay. All right. Now let's reduce the movements. Can you feel the tingling, the very, very, very rapid high notes, very fast, the tingling and the solidity at the same time? Okay. If we get too deep into the solidity, we get stuck. And if we get too far out with the boundlessness, then we lose our grounding. So it's a matter of, yeah, okay, the whole thing is here. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up our stool. So what we need for Vipassana meditation is we need to be very present. We need to be very still and solid and grounded. We have to have a certain confidence in our body that it's here, that it's warm, that it's alive, that it's upright. So we just feel that. Then we move to opening up the space. So the insight practice unfolds in the space. You say the space of the heart or the space of the mind. So just as there's space all around the body, and there's space in the mind, in consciousness. And just as there's space in the lungs and breathing, there's space in consciousness. But just, if you would, just try meditating on that space for a little bit. Okay, now in this insight practice, there's an intentionality to it. And so you don't have to do this. You can just meditate on the space, that's fine. But if you want to try the insight practice, then we're going to intentionally bring into that space the object of our meditation. Now, it could be something that happened that was disturbing or confusing. It could be a memory, a dream that keeps recurring. It could be a relationship with a person. It could be a person who's died, or it could be a concept, anything that you would like to be with in this space of the wisdom mind. If it's something that involves some level of pain, please keep in mind that the flip side of pain is compassion. So if we're dealing with something that's painful, we can just in a moment flip that and feel compassion. Okay. And if you investigate whatever it is, the object your attention is, you investigate it, you can kind of just be with it or sort of peel it back like an onion, trying to understand. Just set an intention to be with it. And it may change and it may fade away. And if it does, you just return to the meditation on the spaciousness. And if you want to, then call in something else. Now, you don't have to attain or expect some resolution. There may be an insight that arises, but it's enough to just put out the intention and be with the object of meditation. Just be with it. And it will naturally unfold in time. Okay, very good. Let's take a few more breaths. You can stay with this practice if you want to. Otherwise, we're going to stand and do some flying cranes, and then we'll return to the practice after that. Okay, so breathe through the body, the whole body. Breathe out through the whole body. Okay, and then let's go into flying cranes. Now just notice how your body's moving. It's effortless. It's in the space. Okay, when you're ready, return to sitting. And do the flying cranes without moving. And maybe touch into the joy. All right, now that you've created this space, if you want to bring in an object of meditation into the space, then you can do that and just be with it in the space. If you want to investigate it, ask questions of it or whatever, then that's fine. Or just being with it is fine too. You can let it fade and then bring in another one. You can also, without moving, practice the breathing up from the earth and up out into the universe and then back down, or breathing from all directions in and then out. And with every breath, we bring in fresh air and we release that which is stale or not needed. And anything in the body and in the mind can be released with that out breath. You can breathe in freshness or light. Breathe out anxiety or fear or anger, confusion. Okay, and then so the joy is at the end of the out breath. And then it's that also, it's in every tingling sensation in the body. It's the joy of being alive. Let's take a few more breaths. And just loosen up. Relax the body. So every time we breathe out, it's an opportunity to release, consciously release anything that we want to release. We have this opportunity with every breath. Or just feel the out breath, feel the release. We don't have to know what's being released. It's really feeling the breath, the enlivening quality of the in breath, and the releasing, letting go quality of the out breath. Everything flows through the system. Okay, very good. Okay, let's go and finish our closing movement here. 1, 2, 3. This is why conscious breathing is so effective, because it enables us to rejuvenate and release with every breath. Then we don't get this buildup of stuck things. It makes it difficult to hold a grudge. Okay, and tapping the kidneys. And massaging the kidneys. Okay, so thank you for joining us. And as far as utilizing this in your practice, I just wanted to connect the Vipassana tradition with the spacious, with the Qigong tradition. But that's not what this is for. It's just something it can be used as. But just actually generating the spaciousness and just doing the Zen practice, just meditating on the spaciousness, that's extremely healing. Okay, so have a good evening. And if you want to stay and talk, please do.
That's off the recording.
Off for the recording, right? Okay, we're